The Apocryphal book, Joseph and Asenath. The prayer of Asenath, chapter 27 and 28. And Benjamin was sitting with her on the chariot on the right side. And Benjamin was a strong boy of about 19 years, and upon him was ineffable beauty and might as of a lion's whelp. And he was also one who feared Yahweh exceedingly. And Benjamin leapt down from the chariot, took a round stone from the ravine, and filled his hand, and hurled at Pharaoh's son, and smote his left temple, and wounded him with a grievous wound. And he fell from his horse upon the earth, half dead. And thereupon Benjamin, having run up onto a rock, said to Asenath's chariotman, "Give me stones from the ravine." And he gave him 50 stones. And Benjamin hurled the stones and slew the 50 men who were with Pharaoh's sons, and all the stones sinking in through their temples. And the sons of Leah, Reuven, and Shimeon, Levi, Yehudah, Shekar, Zebulun, pursued after the men who had laid in wait against Asenath, and fell upon them unawares, and cut them all down. And the 6 men slew 2,076 men. And the sons of Bilhah and Zalpah fled from their face and said, "We have perished at the hands of our brethren." And Pharaoh's son also died by the hand of Benjamin the boy, and all who were with him perished by the hand of the boy Benjamin. Accordingly, therefore, let us slay Asenath and Benjamin, and flee to the thicket of these reeds. And they came against Asenath, holding their swords drawn, covered with blood. And Asenath, when she saw them, feared greatly, and said, "Yahweh, Elohim, who quickened me and delivered me from the idols and the corruption of death, even as you have said to me that my soul shall live forever, deliver me now also from these wicked men." And Yahweh, Elohim, heard Asenath's voice, and straightway the swords of the adversaries fell from their hands upon the earth, and were turned to ashes. And the sons of Bilhah and Zalpah, when they saw these great things that had been wrought, feared and said, "Yahweh fights against us on Asenath's behalf." They then fell upon their faces on the earth and made obeisance to Asenath, and said, "Have mercy on us, your bondmen, for that you are our mistress and queen. We wickedly committed evil deeds against you and against our brother Yosef, but Yahweh requited us according to our works. Therefore, we, your bondmen, pray, have mercy on us, deliver us from the hands of our brethren, for that they will make themselves avengers of the spite done to you, and their swords are against us. Accordingly, be gracious to your bondsmen, mistress, before them." And Asenath said to them, "Be of good cheer. Do not be afraid of your brethren, for that they themselves are men who worship Elohim and fear Yahweh. But go into the thicket of these reeds until I shall appease them on your behalf, and stay their wrath on account of the great crimes which you on your part have dared to commit against them. But Yahweh shall see and judge between me and you." Then Dan and Gad fled to the thicket of the reeds, and Leah's sons came running like stags against them. And Asenath stepped down from the chariot that was her covered, and gave them her right hand with tears. And they themselves fell down and made obeisance to her on the earth, and wept with a loud voice. And they continued asking for their brethren, the sons of the handmaids, to put them to death. Asenath said to them, I pray, spare your brethren, and do not render them evil for evil. For Yahweh saved me from them, and shattered their daggers and swords from their hands, and lo, they have melted, and were burned to ashes upon the earth like wax from before fire. And this is sufficient for us, that Yahweh fights for us against them. Accordingly, spare your brethren, for that they are your brethren in the blood of your father Yasharel. And Shimeon said to her, Why does our mistress speak good words on behalf of her enemies? No, but rather, we will cut them down limb from limb with our swords, for that they've devised evil things concerning our brother Yosef and our father Yasharel, and against you this day. And Asenath stretched out her right hand and touched Shimeon's beard, kissed him tenderly, and said, In no way, brother, render evil for evil to your neighbor, for Yahweh will avenge this spite. They themselves, you know, are your brethren, and the offspring of your father Yasharel, and they fled from afar from your face. Accordingly, grant them pardon. Then Levi came up and kissed her right hand tenderly, for that he knew that she was fain to save the men from their brethren's anger, that they should not slay them. And they themselves were near at hand in the thicket of the reed bed. And Levi, his brother, knowing this, did not declare it to his brethren, for he feared lest in their anger they would cut down their brethren.